Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Saturday morning. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well this season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Saturday morning, guys. Really quickly, I wanted to jump on. I want to talk to you guys about discouragement, defeat, despair, all that stuff wrapped up into one. During these times, there are a lot of people that's going through things. But when you're going through something in particular, it literally feels like it's an isolated incident. So the enemy will have you feeling like you're the only one in the world who's going through despair, who's going through discouragement, things like that. And the fact is, everybody's going through something. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and she was like, Kizzy, it's like every time my phone rings, it's somebody calling me with a problem, and I'm loaded with my own problems. It just seemed like everybody got something going on. I was like, girl, same over here. It's true. If it's not marital problems and issues, it's the children. If it's not that, somebody's grieving. If it's not that, it's financial issues. If it's not that, somebody's lost their job. If it's not that, it's everybody's going through something different, something, same kind of pain, same kind of despair. So if you're in the sunken place right now, it's important to know that you're not in it alone. First and foremost, God is with you, but everybody is going through something. The trick is you gotta ask God for grace and mercy, right? Always, but ask God for strength to take a step. Because sometimes when you're in those sunken places, you just don't even, if it's depression and all that stuff wind up in with the spiritual warfare, like you don't even have the strength, the physical strength to take a step. So ask God to give you strength to take a step, because you got to give God something to work with. So let's talk about depression for an example. If it's depression, your body feels so tired. It's like a Mack truck sitting on top of your body. So you don't even, we know that walking, we know that exercising, all that stuff really helps with depression, but you don't have the energy to even get up to do it. So ask God to give you the strength, and then you in your own mind make a determination that no matter how tired I feel in the morning, no matter how I feel like I just don't want to do anything, make a decision to get up, open your blinds, go walking, go get a workout in, all that stuff to really, really help get that spirit of depression up off of you. And it may not last for the entire week or the entire month or the duration of the depression, but you got to give God something to work with. It's a partnership. So if you make the determination, God will give you the strength, and the enemy will fall up off of you, because it's almost like this one here is like, no matter what I throw at him, no matter what I throw at her, they keep getting up. So he's going to keep riding you. There's no question about that. It's about you having a determination within your spirit. Like this, listen, this walk, the chosen one walk, is no joke. You're constantly under warfare. You're constantly under battle. You come from one storm, right? You come out of warfare and you think like, whoo, I can finally breathe for a minute. Then boom, it's something else. It's constant. So the enemy is trying to get you to fall off of this path. The enemy knows that destiny and open doors for many, promises that God has promised you, promises that you don't even know about, are about to find you. So he's trying to really keep you in this sunken place. Even if you are the strong friend, even if you are the one that everybody calls to and you have nobody, it's okay for you not to be strong right now. Because again, religion sometimes will make people feel like you got to be strong all the time. Like no. You don't trust God if you have a weak moment. You don't trust God if you're dealing with mental health issues. Like, listen, you're human. You're human. Like, these tables turn, seasons changes. You're not going to have a great season all the time. In fact, if you're in a really dark, sunken place right now, be expecting a great season. It's a matter of trying to push through each day, because you know at any given moment, breakthrough is here. So you got to keep telling yourself, like, this too shall pass. This has to come to an end, because seasons rotate. You might be in the darkest season right now, and you'll be in the most beautiful season next month. Like, you don't see it coming up on you. You just feel it in your spirit that something is coming. And so you got to keep pushing yourself every single day. And it's okay. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to have a day where it's like, you know what? These blinds are going to stay closed. I'm not answering my phone. Don't bother me. I'm not, like, it's okay. It's okay to have one of those days, even two. But your mindset have to be, I can't stay here. I'm not going to stay here. I got to keep pushing. Like, literally one day at a time. You got to literally be so determined in your mind. It's like you having a fight, a street fight. Like, when you're fighting with the enemy, listen, he will knock you out. Straight up, he will knock you out. But you have to have a determination in your mind that I'm not going to stay here. Like, oh, you got me today. Oh, I ain't gonna lie. Oh, you got me today. But tomorrow, tomorrow, right? So you gotta have that sheer determination in your mind. Guys, it's so many people. Like, even reading the emails, like, it's different problems, right? It's different problems. But each person feels like they're in this thing alone. So many people feel so lonely right now because, for one, you went through a pruning season of things, places, and people. So a lot of people have fallen off because the season is about to change. So because you haven't seen the new season, because you haven't walked into the open door yet, then you don't understand why these people had to fall off. So in your mind, you still feel like they should be there because you're still thinking from your current level. You don't know where God is about to shift you. Where God is about to shift you, some of those people just can't go. Some will, some just can't go. And you're going to have to be okay with that. Remember, it's obedience over emotions. Because if you move with your emotions right now, honey, we'll be all over the place, like, for real. If we're moving by emotions, and I'm guilty because I'm a very emotional person, very sensitive person. So if you're moving with emotions, you got to literally ask God to give you grace and give you mercy, to just really, really help you during these times. But please understand that you're not the only one who's going through something. Please understand that if you're in a sunken place, it has to end. Please understand that if God has stripped you of everything, he's going to replace it with things that are better. Even though you don't understand it at the time, you will understand it soon. To all my strong peoples, understand that it's okay for you not to have a strong moment. It's okay for you to have your moments where you have to reach out to people. Sometimes as strong people, you don't really feel like you have people to reach out to, because it's almost like, but I don't understand, because you typically have all the answers. So it's almost like I'm intimidated to even try to give you a word, because I don't feel like it's going to be good enough, right? And it's important, if you feel like you're hitting those roadblocks like that, you got to tap in spiritually. And sometimes in that sunken place, you don't even have the energy to tap in spiritually, right? You don't feel like reading the word. You don't feel like this. You don't feel like fasting, right? So make sure you reach out to anybody who you're connected with from a spiritual point and just ask them just to pray for you, right? If they can't give you words, that just ask them to pray for you. So just be strong. Again, you got to be determined. Even if you're feeling despair, you got to be determined to get back up. Just get back in the game. The enemy is... Also, this is popping up in my spirit because I replied to an email about this. It seems like you're going backwards for some people. Like you were on a path, right? Working towards the promise. You were things were lining up, right? You had everything all cookie cutter. And now it seems like things are going backwards. For example, in the physical realm, that can look like if God told you to write a book, every week you was writing one chapter, and I mean, it was all coming to you and coming to you. You were really on your grind with that. Where now it's like you haven't written in 2 months, and when you even try to write, there's nothing coming to your spirit, right? You have writer's block. That can look like God had you on a fitness journey and you were really, really working out every day, every other day, eating clean for a whole year. And now you've gained 15 pounds versus before you were actually losing, because that was part of the deal to the promise for whatever reason. Maybe God needs you on and off planes, and you got to have that extra energy just to be walking through these airports or whatever it may be. It seems like you're now going backwards. You have to be very, very careful right there, because the enemy can really halt you, and you'll feel like, well, listen, at this point, I'm going backwards now. Like, I've fallen back, so I might as well just stay here and chill. That's a lie from the pits of hell. When you move, meaning when you make a determination and feel like, okay, I've fallen backwards, but God, please give me the strength to get back on the course. When you take that first step, there's going to be a supernatural grace that speed things up. So you will drop the weight like never before. You will write 5 chapters in the book now, where you was only able to write 1 before you hit this halt. So that's the whole point. You can't stay trapped. You got to give God something to work with. Religion will tell you to pray. Please, by all means, pray. But you gotta put some work in. You gotta push through the despair. You gotta push through the discouragement. You gotta give God something to work with. God is very, very, all caps, very strategic. Very strategic. This is why it's also important to get your downloads from the Holy Spirit and not so much from people. I mean, people can confirm things, and God will even use people to reveal certain things to you, but it's really, really, really important for you to learn and discern how to hear from God yourself, because God is very, very strategic. The enemy will block one way, or he'll set you back in one way, and God will literally give you a strategic move around that thing. But you got to stay tapped in. It's your girl, Tizzy Rock.